Here we're going to look at how to reproduce the circular panning technique as illustrated in one of the tutorials in the magazine this month. This is quite a nice technique for really making something out of nothing. We've got this image open here, which in its own right isn't actually an awe-inspiring image, but with a little bit of this technique we can turn it into quite a pleasing abstract. So you'll find the start image on this month's cover disc, and I've already opened that in Adobe Photoshop. Now, to begin the technique, we want to use the radial blur filter, which we can find via the filter menu down to the blur subcategory, and we'll choose radial blur from the menu there. And you'll see this is the radial blur dialog. Now, the first thing we want to do is set the central point for the radial blur, and we do that with this small preview map we have in the bottom right hand corner here of the dialog itself. Now, there's no image behind this, so there's a fair bit of guesswork involved in actually positioning the center, but we simply click on the central point of the radial grid, and we want to drag it up near the top of the image, in about the top third of the image, just so this central area here is the least blurred of the lot, and we can position that quite easily. Now, the blur method we want to use for this is spin rather than zoom, so we'll choose that one from the blur method radio buttons, and we'll choose best for quality. We want to adjust the amount to around 6. If we use too much of a high amount, it will distort the image far too much, and you'll see as I increase that amount slider that the indicated amount of radial blur increases accordingly in the blur pattern preview box there. So we'll settle on 6 for that, and we'll click OK. If you've got a fairly slow machine, this filter can be very intensive and can take quite a while to complete, but just be patient and wait for the progress bar to complete. So here we've applied the radial blur to the image itself, and you'll see that it's really given this image a really nice sense of movement and made it quite unique. I just want to make one final adjustment to this, and that's just to increase the contrast a little, which we'll do via the image menu. Go to Image, Adjustments, Brightness and Contrast. I just want to drag the contrast slider up to around about +7. If I uncheck the preview box there, you'll see the difference between the before image and the alteration to the contrast. So we'll settle on +7 for that. If you like, you can increase or decrease the brightness for even more impact. Maybe take that down to -3 and simply click OK. So if you've got any images like this that you think are actually not very good at all, just try this circular panning technique, and you'll often be surprised at the results.